How's it going, everybody? My name's Dave Whipple and you're watching Bush Radical. So a sub of Brooks' channel sent this box full of all these little fire steel things. They're like 97 cents. It's a cool little gift, and it's always good to have something like that with you to start a fire with. But it really got me thinking. This kit was $2.49 and it's marked down to 97 cents. And it just got me thinking, you know, what can you do with $1? And what can you do with $5? What can you do with $10, $25, $50, $100? So I think I think that's kind of a cool premise to do a little series of what can you do with very little. So this is going to be the very first video in that series. This is going to be the $1 survival kit. For $1, see how far this kit might be able to take us. Stay tuned. All right, let's take a look at what we've got here. You can see originally $2.49. Now it's a 97-cent kit. It says it has a flint and striker. It says it has a compass, and it says it has a whistle. I don't know what you could do with this plastic bubble. Maybe you could make a cup out of it or something. One thing you could do with this cardboard as part of your $1 survival kit is that you could keep it around for entertainment, because it says there's a compass, and there is no compass. This is all that comes in the package. There ain't no compass in here. See how entertaining that was? But aside from the fact that it says it has a compass and there is no compass, this little tool itself is pretty cool. The piece of metal that they send with it as a striker, it's hard. This is hard steel. It's not mild. It's got a spring to it. So you could probably sharpen this and basically have a little knife. As for the whistle, that works just fine. And the fire steel itself, it'll throw a spark. So let's take our little tool here. We got our fire steel and our striker. Let's take this to the garage and we'll mod this thing out a little bit and see how we can improve it and make this the best $1 survival kit that we can. Stay tuned. All right, so how good of a kit can we make for $1? Well, right now we got 97 cents worth of a fire steel, a little piece of cordage, and a striker. So the fire steel is okay. The striker is where we're going to put most of our attention. Let's do two things. Let's put a sharp 90 on the back of this for scraping. This area that looks like it was intended to be a blade, let's actually make that a blade. And the back of this striker, which is just painted and dull and stupid, let's make that nice and sharp. Well, now considering what we're working with here, this should take about a minute to do. I'm going to start with the back of the blade here, and a nice fresh file. Not only am I knocking that paint off, I'm also hopefully getting it down to a nice crisp 90. Oh yeah, that feels much better. I even ended up getting the burr on the right side. Being right-handed, you'd want the burr on this side for striking. I think that notch is intended to assist in striking a ferro rod. I'm going to put a real notch in there that should really help. Use a chainsaw file for this. There we go. Nice, sharp. And there's quite a notch in there now. That should grab that rod better, if that's what we want to do with it. Now let's take this little blade and let's turn this into an actual blade. I think the steel is strong enough to sharpen, so why not? Let's do it. Let's make this sucker sharp. I think that'll actually take an edge. Not bad. But yeah, you could sharpen this little guy up. It feels like it's kind of hacksaw blade consistency. Not a knife you'd want to use much, but so now for just 97 cents, we actually have a knife that's got a decent edge. We've got a good, sharp 90-degree spine on the back of this striker that's going to not only work good as a striker, but it's going to do good for scraping, for getting tinder. So here we are, out alone in a snowstorm in the wilderness, but we happen to have 97 cents worth of a survival kit here. What can we do with this? Well, for starters, we can signal for help, because that'd be our best bet. Because goodness knows, if all you have is a flint and a steel and a striker that's kind of like a knife, you could use a little bit of help. Not the best whistle in the world, but it's a whistle. That's actually works better the more you hold it right, I guess. Not bad. All right, let's see if we can get a little bit of a fire going. Grab some of our grasses here. Not the stalk, just the blades. This is last year's grass. It's pretty old and dried out. It should be able to do what we want it to. Man, it is snowing out here. Check this out. Pretty snowy conditions. Now, truthfully, I'm just in my backyard. I don't need this to work. But let's see if it would work if I did need it. Now I gotta not cut myself with this sharp piece of blade I sharpened. There. Come on. Burn, baby. You can do it. I've got nothing ready for a fire here. I'm just kind of going through the motions. So there's pretty much the core concept. 97 cents. If we added 3 cents of duct tape, we could cover that blade and keep from running the risk that we're going to cut ourselves with it. It's in your pocket or your pack or what have you. But realistically, a 97 cent survival kit, it'd be hard to do a whole lot better for 97 cents. I mean, you could put things together that would be a little more beneficial, but fire's kind of hard to beat. In this little kit, we got a fire steel that's actually a really decent little steel, throws a good spark. We've got this this little bit of a chunk of steel that's our striker. This sharpened up good, so you can, it's a usable knife. Nothing fancy. At this little piece of cordage, I'm really not sure what we could do with that, but it's probably a foot by the time you undo the knot and open it up. There's something to be done with that. And of course, it's a whistle. And it's bright orange, so it's gonna be hard to lose. So I think if there's one thing we could do to this 97 cent survival kit to keep it under $1 that would make it better, would be to take about 3 cents worth of duct tape. Let's call it 1 inch of duct tape. And we'll cover that blade, because when we need the blade, we can always take it off. While it's bouncing around in your pack or in your pocket, the sharper you get the blade, the better it's going to serve you. The sharper you get the blade, the less you're going to want it bouncing around in your pocket. So we'll just take that little blade, we'll cut, let's call that 3 cents worth of duct tape off the roll. We can take just like so. We'll cover that just like that. That way it's covering the blade, but it's not covering the striker. We can still use the striker. In the event we want to use the blade, we can carefully take this duct tape off. Maybe you can use this to patch some waders. I don't know what else you're going to do with 1 inch of duct tape, but it'll keep you from getting cut, or keep this little knife from cutting your pants pocket or your backpack or whatever. And I think it's fair to say that's still within the $1 range. 97 cents for the discount fire steel with the striker, 3 cents worth of duct tape. There's your $1 survival kit. Thank you guys for hanging out with me for this first installment of the, I don't know what you can do for what amount of money survival kit series. I should come up with a better name. So this is going to be the first video in our series of, you know, cheap survival kits. This will be the $1 survival kit. I think from here we're going to go up to $5, $10, $25, $50, whatever, and see what you can do on a budget for the least amount of money. And for 97 cents, I thought this was a great place to start. Thank you guys so much for watching Bush Radical. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button and the little bell next to it and give you updates when I post videos, which I try to do quite often. My name's Dave Whipple and you've been watching Bush Radical. Be radical, eh? See you soon.